They say you don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. And no, I don't wanna be alone in the world out there.
Hey guys, this is Level 1 Online. I haven't made a video in a while. It seems like I haven't put up something in like a week or two. So I wanted to just touch base with everybody. There's been some new themes that have come out, and unfortunately, the recent 32 gigabyte image that I put out, if you were to download those new themes and apply them to that 32 gigabyte image, it's not going to work. The reason being is that, you know, just all the systems I created, the Midway section, the Kaneko, the Psycheo, Taoplan, all those sections are not included in those latest themes. But anyways, so I really wanted to use these themes because I'm really impressed. So I have a spare 16 gigabyte SD card laying around. And I also wanted to not only use these themes, but also implement snaps. And there is a new feature within Emulation Station. If you go right here and you turn this on Use OXM Player Hardware Accelerated, it's going to make the videos look really good and play smooth. And I haven't noticed any overheating when I have that enabled. I don't get the little logo at the top right of the thermometer. So anyways, let me show what systems I have. I got starting with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, Genesis, Sega 32X, TurboGrafx 16. This is the American library. PC Engine, that's the Japanese library with Bomberman 94 and Street Fighter 2. NeoGeo, Virtual Boy. So not as many systems as my 32 gigabyte, but like I said, the focus on this one is being able to use these new themes and being able to have video snaps. Let me see. I finally got some speakers plugged in. I like how it sounds. This is cool. So this particular build, for what my personal use is, this is, you know, I'm chilling out on like a Sunday afternoon, you know, not really trying to get too deep into a game, just trying to learn some new hidden gems and just look at the video and say, oh, that looks interesting. Like this game, I never heard of this game before, Eight Eyes. It looks like Castlevania. I'm pretty sure it's probably made by Konami. Alright, Abadox. This was one of the first shooting games I ever played on the Nintendo. Okay. So most of the videos are there. Let me get out of this. Let me show some other videos. So this looks really good. And it loads up really quick. So the other theme I wanted to show off was, and by the way, you go here to UI settings, transition style. I have it to instant. If you go here to fade, for example, you know, the left-hand side is going to go black. I really don't like that. You know, and if you go here to slide, I really don't like that either. I kind of like the instant. So I also got on here, I put Magazine Madness. This one looks awesome because they look like high quality magazine cover photos. When I used to shop at GameStop, you know, they would offer the $15. I think you pay $15 and you get like a year of magazines. So every month I'd get a new one in the mail and it'd have like a really high quality photo. You know, and this was before I started taking to YouTube and actually going to websites to look at video game previews. I would get all my video game previews through those magazines. So we got Nintendo. It's got Link right there. Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, Genesis, 32X. Let me see. I think am I missing something? I could have sworn there was one with Sonic. Hmm. I think if you do the Mega Drive, or if you do the no, if you do the Master System, it has a picture of Sonic on it. So let's go into the menus right here. So the videos load up instantaneously right here. So that's really cool. The other theme I put on here, I'm a fan of this one, the Futura one. This is a really slick interface right here. So that one, what it does, it loads up the box art first, and then it starts the video. I don't know. I kind of am not a fan of that. I don't know if there's a way to change that, program it, where it just goes straight to the video first. If anybody knows how to do that, let me know in the comments. But for now, you know, this is a really simple build. What I'm actually considering, I just made a backup of this, and what I'm going to try and do is install Kiosk and Kid Mode. So that way, when I do release it, I can advertise it as, you know, hey, put the SD card, put it on your SD card, and then let your kid mess around with it. Because I noticed I did take this to a friend's house, and he had a kid, and you know, kids like to press buttons, and the last thing you would want is for your child to hit something, you know, go in here and just start messing stuff up. The other one I like, comic book 4x3 SE wheel art. So this one is designed with in mind if you have a 4x3 monitor. With my last release, I did make the assumption that everybody was using a 16:9 monitor. So I'm using a widescreen, so it's gonna look a little funky. It's gonna look a little stretched out. It's designed to work on a on your 4x3 setup if you're using like a VGA monitor. And the one, because it says wheel art, at the top right here, if you can see my finger right here, it has the game title. That's the only difference between, I can notice, between just a regular comic book and comic book SE wheel art. So let's go to regular comic book. And this one, for example, it looks a little, in my opinion, I think it looks a little bit better with the slide enabled. I like that. And I like this one because it's the video preview is really large. And then to the right hand side we got the box art. We got Sonic, and then we got the game logo along the top. There's nothing for that one. Alright. So just to show how I got this, let's see. And there is a way, if you're using my image, what I recommend doing, if you want these new themes to work, what you're going to have to do is get everything from like the Konami folder, the Data East folder, the Tau Plan folder. Basically, when you load up the theme and you see any of them missing, you have to grab the ROMs and you can just throw them into the FBA folder. And I'll try and do a demonstration of that. But while I'm here, let me show how I got this. You go right here. I'm sorry, hit the wrong button. What you want to do first is do the update RetroPie script. And then from there, you can go into ES themes. And usually the newer ones are going to be at the bottom. So there we go. You got this new one, Royal Primcia. I really didn't like that one. I didn't like Mario Blue either. My favorite, definitely Magazine Madness. GBZ35. It's kind of like it uses some of the same art from Simple Big Art, but it's like a little stretched out. Looks a little strange. Not really a fan of these. Retrorama is really nice. I should install that one. I'll do that later. Okay. All right. So what I'm doing right now is I'm loading up the 32 gigabyte image that I just released. I have a total of 3 cards. The first one I just showed off, the 16 gigabyte one, and I have two 32 gigabytes. The first 32 gigabyte, it's a card made by a high quality company. It's very fast. I'm just gonna keep everything that one stock. This one, it's the same 32 gigabyte image, but I'm experimenting with it. Let's see. So what I did is, to the right of Capcom, that's where you have those other systems that I created. What I did is I removed those, and I moved them over here. So now I got Capcom, Cave, Data East, Galaxian, Ireme, Kaneko, Konami, Midway, Pac-Man. And what I did is I created a folder and I put a little pound sign. So what that does, it moves it to the top. One little drawback is, so now if I go into Capcom, now I'm going to have to rescrape all of these ROMs because, sorry, the shortcut for these have changed. So I'm going to have to delete the game list XML and go ahead and do that. If you know an easier way, a more optimal way to do that, let me know in the comments. So now we go right here to, let me go ahead and change the theme. I'm going to put it on Showcase. All right. So the other thing I was messing with, I got a lot of people ask me about Daphne. So I finally got this working. So I noticed with this, you're going to get a black screen. And then for some odd reason, it's going to scroll a bunch of text. Yeah, this right here. I really haven't figured out the controls to this game or even how to play it. I don't hear any volume. Oh, I think I know why. I think I may have changed the audio setting on this build to use a USB headset. That's probably why there's no sound. But yeah, so I got Daphne working on here. Let me go ahead and exit out of this. So I got CPS1. The showcase theme does support CPS 1, 2, and 3 folders, so that's cool. Game Boy Color, NeoGeo Pocket Color, NeoGeo System, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, Nintendo 64, Nintendo DS, Sega Master System, Genesis, 32X, PlayStation, PSP. I don't like how that PSP logo looks. PC Engine, TurboGrafx, Virtual Boy, ports. I would like to maybe see if I could find one that says just Cody, because that's the only port I'm going to mess with. I'm not going to attempt to play Quake or Doom or any of those old school games on a RetroPie. But yeah, you know, I've been adding a few favorites. All you got to do is, let's say we're going to go right here. Let's see, let's do Alpha 3, and all you got to do is hit the Y button. It says, boom, added Street Fighter Alpha 3 to favorites, and we go back. Favorites. There it is right there. Oh my gosh. All right. So I finally got the speakers working. I had to go and delete a sound configuration file. Um, it's kind of tedious. I didn't like having to do that. Anyway, so this is once again my test build. As you can see, like on the bottom left, I got my frames. You know, just to make sure, you know, for certain games that I'm at 60 FPS. Go ahead and get out of this. You know, like some of the really fast games. The one pet peeve I just don't like about this particular theme. So I got Final Burn Alpha, but on the left-hand side it says NeoGeo. It does, you know, Final Burn Alpha does support NeoGeo games, but NeoGeo is already its own system over here, so it's a little redundant. It can be a little confusing because you might see it say NeoGeo, but there's actually no NeoGeo games in this folder. Speaking of NeoGeo, I wanted to show off a game really quick. This is a really cool fighting game. Came out on the NeoGeo. I wish they had released it on the Xbox 360. When Mark of the Wolves was released and All the King of Fighters, they brought on the Xbox 360 arcade and the PS3. I wish they would have brought this game. This game's amazing. Let's see. Oh, my controls. Okay, so I didn't do the controls. So I'm going to show really quick how to do that. Right here to controls. Want my A button to be left, C button to be on top. I want my B button, that is my light kick. I want that as down. D button, that's my fierce kick. I want that as my right. All you gotta do, save game remap file. Remap saved successfully. Alright. So she plays just like Blanca. She's got charge moves. Her super's just like Blanca. She doesn't have any projectiles. She doesn't have an electricity move, but if you mash Light Punch, she does a little spinning thing that sucks you in. Let me see if I can do her other super. Let me get on the other side. Oops. There we go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, in this game, supers can trade with each other. It doesn't have an invincibility window like most fighting games. And this character, this ninja, he's really broken. He's really high tier. Real flashy game. I like it. Alright, let me go ahead and get out of here. So yeah, the one other thing I want to point out, if you downloaded the 32 gigabyte, there is an issue with Super Princess Peach. I've tried already 4 different ROMs. It loads up, but once the first level starts, it kicks you out. I know this game, for example, plays just fine. Let me actually throw in a Xbox 360 controller. I'm using my fighting gamepad. So the way I have it set up, you can hit the guide button. You can go right here. You can go to options. Let me see, options. You can change it to horizontal. And then I have my right stick right here. You can just go ahead and type that in. I am not good at these Castlevania games. Yeah, the game plays just fine. I don't understand why this would run perfect, and then why Princess Peach doesn't work. So there's different ways you can configure this. If you wanna, if you don't like the controls, you will need to go to configure controls with your keyboard, and then that's how you do it. The screen options, if you like it vertical, or if you just want a single one. Let's see. Oops. Let's see. You would go there. There should be a screen swap. Yes. See, you can just play a single screen. No. All right. Those crazy Japanese and their video games. All right. So let's put it back to vertical. Yeah. All right, so let me actually exit out of this. Here's one of my favorite games right here. This game's amazing. Oh, words cannot describe. All right, let's get out of this. Yeah. I remember the first time I played this game, I actually gave it a name. I called him my name, you know? And then I told a buddy at school, you know, I was renaming all the characters, like the girls, I'd rename them girls I knew from school. My friend at school who let me borrow Chrono Trigger was like, nah, man, you're supposed to keep it the way, you know, it was designed, you know, keep their actual names. I really hate it when I see the games done quick and they, you know, they do donations to rename the characters and they choose like really stupid names. Like, let's call Chrono Taco. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this works just fine. I did play this up until the point where you take your first time warp, because I know there is something built in to detect if the game's been pirated, and if you're able to get past that point, that's a telltale sign that you got a really decent ROM on your hands. Oh, this game sounds amazing. Alright, folks. Thanks for coming by.